The Marvel Cinematic Universe, once a beacon of colorful heroes and fantastical adventures, has begun to embrace a darker side. Over the years, the MCU has evolved, reflecting the complexities and nuances of the real world. This shift is most evident in the portrayal of its villains. Gone are the days of one-dimensional villains with simple motivations. Today's antagonists are multi-layered, with backstories that often evoke a sense of empathy or understanding. They are no longer just obstacles for the heroes to overcome but are characters with their own arcs and development. A new breed of evil has emerged, one steeped in psychological torment and capable of unspeakable brutality. These villains challenge our heroes in ways that go beyond physical confrontations. They force them to question their morals, their beliefs, and even their own sanity. These antagonists, like the ones haunting Netflix's corner of the MCU, delve into the darkest corners of the human psyche, forcing our heroes to confront not only physical threats, but also the unsettling horrors lurking within their own minds. Characters like Kilgrave from Jessica Jones or Wilson Fisk from Daredevil are prime examples of this new wave of villainy. This descent into darkness paved the way for the live-action debut of one of Daredevil's most disturbing foes, Muse. Muse, an artist who uses human remains for his macabre creations, embodies the terrifying blend of creativity and madness. His presence in the MCU signifies a bold move towards exploring the more sinister aspects of the Marvel Universe, pushing both heroes and audiences to the edge of their comfort zones. Created by writer Matt Murdock and artist Checchetto, Muse slithered onto the pages of Daredevil Volume 5 Number 1 in 2014. He wasn't your typical costumed criminal with a grandiose plan for world domination. No, Muse craved something far more sinister: to transform the world into a grotesque masterpiece, painted with the blood of his victims. His arrival in Daredevil's life was heralded by a chilling tableau, a gruesome display that would forever etch itself into the nightmares of Hell's Kitchen. Daredevil, ever vigilant in his protection of Hell's Kitchen, stumbled upon a scene of unimaginable horror. The night was thick with tension, the air heavy with the scent of rain and something far more sinister. As he moved through the shadows, his heightened senses picked up the faintest whispers of despair and agony, leading him to an old, abandoned house on the outskirts of the neighborhood. Inside, the scene that greeted him was beyond comprehension. A murdered family, their bodies grotesquely arranged, formed a macabre centerpiece within their own home. The walls, once a dull, peeling white, were now canvases of chaos, splattered with blood and marked with cryptic symbols that seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy. But it wasn't the violence alone that chilled Daredevil to the bone, it was the artistry, the meticulous positioning of the bodies, and the horrifying symbols scrawled on the walls with the victim's blood that spoke of a deeply disturbed mind at work. Each detail was a testament to the killer's twisted vision, a nightmarish tableau that seemed to mock the very concept of life and death. This was no mere murder, it was a terrifying spectacle, a declaration of intent from a villain who saw death not as an end but as a canvas for his twisted art. The killer had turned the act of murder into a grotesque performance, each stroke of blood and each placement of the bodies a deliberate act of defiance against the natural order. Daredevil knew that this was just the beginning, a prelude to a greater, more horrifying plan that lay hidden in the shadows, waiting to be unveiled. Muse's true terror lay not only in his gruesome methods but also in his unsettling abilities. He possessed a unique power to manipulate sensory information, warping perceptions, and plunging his victims into a hellscape tailored to their deepest fears. Imagine being trapped in your own personal nightmare, unable to distinguish reality from the horrific illusions conjured by your tormentor. This is the terrifying power Muse wielded, a power that went far beyond physical strength, striking at the very core of one's sanity. And as if this wasn't horrifying enough, Muse's art didn't end with manipulating perceptions. He used the blood of his victims as his paint, turning their life essence into the gruesome medium for his twisted creations. His victims were not just casualties, they were unwilling contributors to his macabre masterpieces. Each stroke of his brush was a testament to his dark genius, a chilling reminder of the lives he had claimed. The very act of creating art became an extension of his malevolence, a ritual that bound the souls of his victims to his nightmarish visions. His art was not just a display of his talent, but a manifestation of his cruelty. Those who gazed upon his work could feel the torment and agony embedded within each piece, as if the very essence of his victims cried out from the canvas. Muse's abilities were a haunting blend of psychological terror and physical horror, making him a figure of nightmares, a true artist of dread.